Shall be filled for service
Good morning, everyone. Good to be with all of you this morning. Something I've been thinking about for a while is life gives us many options, easy choices and hard choices, and how easy it is to take the easy road, and normally where that gets us. The easy road doesn't normally get us where we want to go. And it's something that's been challenging to me, and it's something that I promise I have to work on more than anyone here. So don't think that I'm just preaching to you, because I'm really preaching to myself this morning. I think normally when it comes to my turn for devotions, I think of something that I need to work on. And it's probably more help to me than it is to anyone else in here. I guess in short, easy is not better. So we'll just kind of have a few verses that I want to read, but also some examples I want to give of taking the easy road. And in some cases, taking the easy road is okay. Like in work, for example, there's easier ways of doing things and you still have the same end result. And there's equipment that we have that makes our life easier at work, and those are all good things. But in general, nothing in life that is worthwhile comes easy. For example, our health, just eating whatever we want to, eating what tastes good, normally doesn't have too good of results. My theory is normally if the food tastes really good, it probably wasn't that healthy. There is good food that does taste healthy, or that is healthy and it tastes good. But in general, if it's exceptionally good, it's probably not healthy. In fitness, if we're not willing to get out of bed in time in the morning to get that workout in, or to run for a mile, or whatever it takes for you to stay fit, we're not going to like how we look, or how heavy we are, or whatever. It's easy to just sit on the couch and not do anything when you're at home. It takes effort to be active, to play with the children, or do chores around the house, or whatever it takes to just stay active and to stay fit. Fitness could be as easy as taking the stairs instead of the elevator when you're at a hotel or some big building. Another thing is bills. Nobody likes bills. It's easy to rack up bills. Sometimes very frustrating how easy it is to rack up credit cards or whatever it is. And I've often said it would be nice if it was as easy to make money as it is to spend money. But it's something that takes constant effort to stay on top of, is, finances and bills, and it takes hard work, dedication to your job, doing your best. There's a lot of people that decide they don't want to work, and so therefore they don't go to work, and they bum off the government. There's people that decide that they want the easy job, and therefore it pays minimum wage. but they don't understand why they can't ever get ahead in life. And it's just, it simply comes down to, like, if you're willing to work hard, you also will reap the benefits, and finances will come a little easier, I think. The same way in our Christian life. In life, we have the option to take the harder road, maybe. Christian life isn't necessarily easy. God never promised that it was going to be easy. He did promise that it was going to be worth it, that the destination is going to be worth it. And the easy road leads to damnation. It leads to destruction. And it's so easy to just do nothing and just take the easy road. And it's small wrong choices in life every day consistently leads us to a place where we never thought we were going to be, because we took that easy road. Proverbs 21, 25, and 26. This isn't a different version that I'd ever heard it, but I thought it brought it out plainer. It says, taking the easy way out is the habit of a lazy man, and it will be his downfall. All day long he thinks about all the things that he craves, for he hasn't learned the secret that the generous man has learned. Extravagant giving never leads to poverty. The lazy man always takes the easy way. And like this verse says, it will be his downfall. So I think it's something that we have to be aware of every day, is just making choices that, hey, even though it is the hard road, even though it is the harder thing to do, it is worth it. Matthew 7, 13 and 14 says, enter ye in at the straight gate, for wide is the gate, and broad is the way that leadeth to destruction, and many there be which go in thereat. Because straight is the gate, and narrow is the way which leadeth unto life, and few there be that find it. The gate, the road that leads to destruction, is wide. It's easy. It's easy to walk. It's easy to go through that gate. The road's wide. There's room for plenty of people. And unfortunately, as this verse says, the narrow gate, few there are that find it, because that road, it is a harder road to walk. It isn't what is easiest for our flesh. If we think of it in an earthly picture, we have two roads in front of us. The one road is wide and it's easy to walk, but at the end of that road, there's a forest fire that we're going to have to walk through. Or we have this other option where the road has hills, it has valleys, it's a narrow road, it's rocky, but at the end of that destination is your dream home. It's peace, it's joy, it's everything you ever dreamed of. But there's trials, there's struggles that you have to go through to get to that point. I think every one of us would choose the narrow way that leads to that beautiful home and peace and joy and all that, much rather than, nobody wants to walk through a forest fire. But it really, in reality, that's what we're choosing when we choose to walk the Christian life. We're choosing destruction, or we're choosing life. And we're choosing that dream home, which is heaven, and where there is peace and there's joy and there's no hardships and turmoils and struggles in life. I'm going to read something I came across, maybe because it's easier to read than to say what I'm trying to bring out here. But it's something I came across and thought it fitted very well. It says, following God's way is not always easy. God never promised us an easy life, but faced with difficulties, sometimes God's people seek an easier way. And that's what happened with the tribe of Dan in the Promised Land. It says in Joshua 19:47, the Danites had difficulty taking possession of their territory, so they went up and attacked Leshem, took it, put it to the sword and occupied it. They settled in Leshem and named it Dan after their forefather. God had promised the Israelites that he would help them in their battles against the Canaanites, but apparently, for some reason, the Danites had problems gaining victory over the people that God had told them to conquer. But instead of taking the attitude of Caleb, who put his faith in God despite difficult odds, Joshua 14:12, the Danites give up. Instead, they simply went somewhere else that was easier to conquer and took that land instead. The book of Judges relates this story in more detail in chapter 18, although Leshem is called Laish in Judges. What was the problem with all this? They no longer were putting their trust in God, but in themselves. And that led them to walk away from God and to start worshiping idols, as you can see at the end of Judges 18. That's what happens to us when we start taking the easy way instead of God's way. We stop trusting God, which leads us into even more compromises. Eventually, unless we repent, we find ourselves far away from God, and we don't even realize how it all happened. How about you? Are you taking the easy way? Are you so worried about your finances that you're willing to do something morally questionable in order to get more money? Are you so frustrated by being unable to find a Christian to marry that you are now seeking a partner among non-Christians? Are you feeling so much pressure from your non-Christian family or friends about living God's way that you're tempted to just give in so that you don't have to keep fighting them anymore? Don't do it. God has promised to be with you and to give you all you need. Don't give in to the easy way just because things are tough now. Instead, listen to the words of David when he said, "Delight yourself in the Lord, and he will give you the desires of your heart." So I think that's a great example for us when we start looking to our own selves for direction. I guess we try to make decisions on our own and take that easier way rather than taking God's way and what God's will is for our lives. Because if we delight ourselves in him, as it says here in Psalm 37:4, he will give us the desires of his heart. And he desires good things for us. He definitely has our best interests in mind, and he only wants what's good for us. A closing quote I came across here says, "It ain't easy, it ain't free, and it's not without a fight. But as you flawed as you are, if you'll remain faithful to God, you too can accomplish great things through Christ, who strengthens us all." I think that really is what we all desire, is to accomplish great things. But it's only possible through Christ. It's only possible through sometimes taking the harder road and doing things that aren't necessarily easy to do. And just remembering that the easy road isn't normally the right road. And anything that's worth having, we have to fight for, we have to work hard for. And as we go through life, it's my encouragement to do what is right, to do what God wants us to do, and to fight for, God's will in our lives, and not be afraid to take the hard road. That's really all I have to share this morning. So why don't we just bow our heads for prayer. Father, I thank you for your presence this morning. I thank you for your love, for all that you do for us each and every day. Lord, thank you for paving the road for us, and that even though we face difficult times and the road may be bumpy at times and there's hills and valleys, Lord, I thank you that when we're down, that you can lift us up, and that you're the only one that we can look to for strength as we go through life. And just Help us, Lord, as we make decisions in each and every day in life, to not always just make the decision that's easiest, that pleases ourselves, but what pleases you, Lord, and that betters our lives and betters your kingdom. Help us to have a positive impact on each one around us, and that you could be seen in our lives, and that we would honor and glorify you in the way that we live. Just pray you would bless the remainder of the service. The Sunday school teachers, they teach each one of us. Just help us all to be inspired and to inspire, and to be filled with your love, to be filled with your spirit, and that you would be present here with us and continue to bless the remainder of the service. Thank you again for your love and protection, and many blessings. Praise in your name.